So I want just the news. Wait, no. So I'll read the, because I can highlight things, I can read and then highlight. So let's see. Oh, I don't know. Oh. I'm trying to highlight. Oh. Okay, well, it won't let me highlight things. Okay, so I'll just read it. Oh, okay. Okay, let's see here. I'm just going to go to the news. So this is an article in the Norwell newspaper called New Year, New Power, Ford Government Can Now Override Conservation Authorities by Fatma Said. Ontario's minister has broad powers to overrule environmental permitting decisions made by conservation authorities. There is a link to there's a link called regulation, so I'll probably click on that. And then this governs how organizations tasked with overseeing watershed protections. It governs them. They reduced minimum distances between development lands and wetlands. Let's see, what does that link to? Oh, and then there's another article called Ontario Weakens Watershed Protections Again as Natural Resources Minister Gets New Powers. So this is more detail. It is over 6 months old. Let's see. And it is also in the Norwell by the same journalist. So the Minister of Natural Resources, Minister Graydon Smith, can issue development permits without Conservation Authority review. Conservation, this is a disaster waiting to happen in Ontario. We know what happens when governments don't listen to the experts, such as in Los Angeles happening right now, where homes have been built in high probability forest fire areas, extremely high. We know what happens when homes are built in floodplains. Let's see. Now, conservation authorities. The minister is empowered to direct conservation authorities to issue or to not issue permits for development. And change conditions on a permit, such as altering construction plans or better managed water intake or requiring regular reports. And then they have mechanisms to appeal conservation authorities' decisions, including asking the minister to review the decisions. So they're getting rid of, they're not listening to the expertise. The article is saying those broadness of the regulations makes many nervous, especially when considered in light of other environmental oversight changes made by the Ford government. And Norwell has an extensive list of all the changes that have happened under the Ford government. And then the Ministry of Natural Resources has been stripped of responsibility for evaluating how development proposals could affect wetlands. It's a lot harder to find information about wetlands. Many conservation authority staff Say this means the minister doesn't have access to the environmental expertise needed to use these powers appropriately. Oh, this is a good quote. The minister battles staff up if he wants to tell us what to do. Tim Brine, head of Essex Region Conservation Authority, in between Lake Erie and the Detroit River, he told the Novel. And as for overruling us or appealing our decisions, well, fuck you, minister. Based on what? That's wild. Okay, I'll write this on my Facebook. Favorite quote of the day. Quote. And then let's see. And as for overruling us or appealing all decisions, fuck you, minister, based on what? And then that was Tim Okay, so yeah, that's I like that quote. Let's see. And then there's under that from Tim Brine. When you're dealing with property issues, you have to balance private interest with public and environmental safety. Will the minister do that or weigh one over the other? We can guess the answer. And then after the story was published, Brine sent a statement to sincerely apologize for his comments. So he did apologize. I regret my... Okay, so I think that was perfectly said, to be honest. Issuing a permit without Conservation Authority review would open the minister's door to request the Toronto Conservation Authority told Norwell in an email that it will continue to offer scientific and policy advice to the minister if we are made aware that the use of such powers is being considered. And then those changes regarding wetlands. Let's see. Okay, so it's talking about like previous examples of where the environmental law weakened. And then those developers have expressed concerns, warning unintended consequences if the industry can't depend on conservation authority expertise to help protect homes and the cities from natural hazards. There was a new rule which came into effect in 2025 in January, which was this month, causing significant worry. And it's a change between the distance between development lands and wetlands known as setback buffers. Ontario's historical minimum of 120 meters will be changed to just 30 meters. That is absurd. That is absurd. That is so ridiculous. Oh. It is outrageous. We are going to have a disaster because of the Doug Ford government. To put that into perspective, 30 meters, 30 meters is not that big. It's not based on scientific evidence whatsoever. Okay. I don't know. This is frustrating. It's not based on scientific evidence. There's a lot of scientific evidence. Not even based on scientific and 120 meters did consider political issues. It's a joke. I don't know. I don't know what to. It's definitely a joke. I've studied wetlands in university. I wrote a research paper about wetlands. There's a lot of research on it. And then there's home to species at risks. Some species move 50 meters or more between the water and land daily. And then on top of that, there's no complexing. So this government is very fun. Like, species at risk will be home. There's an expert in this paper. There's exemption of minor construction from Conservation Authority permit requirements, even in flood zones. Oh, they're joking! So docks, patios, decks, hot tubs, and garages. Garages have cars. And if you call, oh my god. Jeff Cade says too many small structures built on a shoreline without oversight could become a problem. The government hasn't provided reasoning or risk assessments for its new exemptions, but Brian, whose region is the most flood prone in the province, has his own opinion. That's from the article. And then, quote, these exemptions have nothing to do with the natural environment, but to help build things for people's enjoyment and in the long term increase the threat of flooding. Why would you allow additional kinds of development in flood zones, even if it's small? It just doesn't make sense. So there was threat of a further broad-scale attack that was apparently walked back. And then the developers have more power to appeal permit denials. Yeah, so it's bad. Very bad. And I'll go back. I'll check out this regulation. Okay, so this is the regulation on the environmental registry. The decision was already made. Effects of the consultation. Majority of the comments expressed opposition or brought up concerns regarding the use of municipal powers in general, including due to the possibility of favoritism and politicization of permitting, the creation of duplicative, more costly, and potentially less timely processes compared to Conservation Authority permitting and existing appeals to the Ontario Land Tribunal. And then there's loss of watershed and technical expertise. Apparently all the comments were considered when making the proposal. We'll see about that. This is... Alright, but I did highlight other stuff in the first article. And who's watching? Okay, there's one person watching. Let's see. I think I covered most of what was talked about. Ministry of Natural Resources was stripped of responsibility evaluating how wetland proposals could affect wetlands, and it's been outsourced to private experts. And then many staff told them, "No, this means the minister doesn't have environmental expertise needed to use the powers appropriately." So this is like a follow-up article from the first one. It's just like an update article. Anyways, I'm going to switch back to